What's up, dog fans, and welcome back to the channel. I got another good one for you today. On this episode, I'm going to recap the game against the Giants, where we exited the stadium as juggernauts of the AFC Conference, and most would even say amongst the juggernauts in the league, joining the company of the Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, and I say the Seahawks and the 49ers. And, you know, other teams that are right behind us that are starting to find a groove, like the Bengals and the Steelers, you know, they're good teams and they put up some points, but they calling us the greatest show on turf. You know what I mean? And we've surpassed the greatest show on turf in numbers so far this year. But we don't play on turf. The Rams play on turf. We play on grass. So they need to start calling us the greatest show on sod, goddammit, or the greatest show on St. Augustine side. And it really don't matter what surface you put us on. It could be concrete, quicksand, Bermuda, Bahia side. None of that shit matters. Whatever you put us on, we're going to be the greatest show. And we showcased that in this beatdown of the Giants. They left Hard Rock Stadium as midgets when it was all over with, because we showed that they wasn't half of the team that we are. We won this game 31-16. And to the critics and the haters that want to say, oh, well, y'all ain't really play nobody. Look at who y'all played. My retort to that is, those teams that y'all are saying are nobodies, y'all were saying that they were somebody before the season started. Preseason, wasn't everybody considering Justin Herbert a top 10 quarterback? Wasn't y'all saying that? Didn't everybody project the Chargers to be AFC contenders, if not Super Bowl contenders? You got lunatics out there saying that they can possibly be better than the Chiefs or the Eagles, you know, because they're in love with Justin Herbert. I mean, didn't Colin Cowherd say on the Herd with Joy Taylor back in the days that she was a witness? She was right there. He said that he would take Mac Jones over Tua because he's bigger, faster, stronger, which he says all the time. Isn't Bill Belichick the best defensive mind in the game? The Patriots got guys over there. They got Uche, they got Dietrich Wise, they got Kyle Duggar. So they got players, you know. Wasn't Sean Payton sitting on his damn couch, laid back, you know, just chilling like he just got the whole league wrapped around his hands? We can clearly see that he does not, with Nathaniel Hackett. This in the Hackett Bowl, beating that ass. You know, we saw that, you know, Sean Payton need to go back to the drawing board. But he was sitting his ass there talking about how Tua should be benched for Teddy. The Giants, didn't they go to the playoffs last year? They don't even look like a playoff team against us. How we annihilated them in this game. Didn't Daniel Jones get his money before Tua? And he was supposed to be considered a top 10, top 15 quarterback. To me, Daniel Jones looks like a bottom 10 quarterback, because I'm not seeing, he has some transferable skills. You know, he has some good skills that he learned from the same coach that was coaching Eli in college. You know, he has the accuracy. He does have, you know, a good arm, but his processing is not fast enough. He can't read defenses. We see him throw picks. He's not secure with the football. They got him running all these boots and running all these quarterback powers. At least Josh Allen can hold on to the football. He's not going to put it on the turf. But Daniel Jones, he is, you know, and so that's been the problem with him. No, he's not a top 10, top 15 quarterback. And I would say preseason, like I said, we beat dark horse considered candidates, teams that people pick either ahead of us or even with us, according to some. Right now, we 4-1. Last time we was 4-1 was in 2003. I think we for real this year, you know, but I'm going to be cautiously optimistic, because I'm not going to lie, I got to see us beat the Bills when they come down here. We got to get revenge, because if we lose that game, there's going to be a lot of questions, and McDaniel's seat is definitely going to get hot. And I got a chance to watch the reaction video by a popular Dolphins and Miami sports podcaster by the name of Big O. He got his own show on YouTube called The Big O Show. Been around much longer than I could think of. And he said on his show that, you know, after the Bills lost, that he thought the Dolphins were proven to be frauds, that he don't give a damn about all of the fireworks, all of the nice plays, the bombs. He thinks the Dolphins are frauds with Vic Fangio and all. All of the players that we had that were waiver wire players that ended up being hidden gems. He thinks the team is a fraud. And even though I disagree with him, because opinions are like assholes, we all have them, and shit comes out of assholes sometimes. Even though I disagree with him, I do understand where Big O was coming from when he says that. He's tired of seeing us lose to the fucking Buffalo Bills. All right? It's been a long time since we've owned the Bills. We got our record head to head against them. We lead the series, but we ain't seen none of the wins in our lifetime. When we had Marino and Shula together, they didn't beat the Bills. Marv Albert was Shula's kryptonite. He had no answers for that K-gun offense, going to Andy Reid and Don Beebe and Lofton and running that shit with Thurman Thomas and them boys. Keith Metzelaars, whoever they had on their team. Bruce Talley sacking Marino, Talley and Smith. They had guys. They had guys over there. Nothing Marino could do could stop Jim Kelly, Same thing with Tannehill. He didn't have signature wins against the Bills. He beat the Patriots sometimes, but he didn't do shit against the Bills. Jimmy Johnson had no answers for the Bills. Dave Wanstead had no answers for the Bills. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I like Griselda. They're a nice hip-hop group, but I don't listen to none of their shit because they Bills fans. All right? So this is the team that we have not proven to have an edge over, So, like I said, he doesn't care about Big O. He can give two shits about us beating the Chargers, a team that we've beaten, pretty much regularly. I mean, they've gotten some wins on us in the last decade, but for the most part, we've owned the Chargers. Now, us beating the Ravens last year, that did something. That made Big O say, okay, I can see that we can be legit. But until we beat the Buffalo Bills, that team there in Orchard Park, until we beat them and sweep the series, splitting with them, if we keep splitting with them, like if we split with them, we got to split with them now, this year. We split with them next year. We're getting close. But when he sees us sweep them, when I see us sweep them, I agree with him on that. I got to see us beat the Bills. Until then, I can't really, I'm sold on McDaniel, I am, but I can't 100% be sold until he does that. Flores didn't beat the Bills. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I mean. So I understand him. But Big O, not only are we breaking records right now, Tua's breaking records. Us as a team, we're breaking records. We're breaking some of our own records. You know what I'm saying? Listen, last year, Tua could have actually broke Marino's 84 yards record. Tyreek could have got the 2,000, if Tua wouldn't have missed those games. Those two could have broke those records last year. They look like they finna do that this year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look like Tyreek finna have 1,000 yards in a couple games. So we're breaking records right now. I mean, and the chemistry is there. It's not like how the supposed chemistry was with Adam Gase and Tannehill, where it looked like they were building chemistry. Like Tannehill's deep ball got better, when Adam Gase was the coach. That y'all can say what y'all want about the eyes and looking like he's sniffing that Miami White and all of that, but when it came to them plays, so his plays in 2016 and 17 was good. It was good. Tannehill was more on point. His footwork was better. He was skipping up in there and throwing it. The Kenny Stills on deep bombs. That was there. That improved. Our running game was good with Drake and, Achane looked kind of like Kenyon Drake a little bit. I think he's better because I think he got more power than Drake. Drake was getting stopped, short of first downs and shit. But I think that, our running game was good with Gase. Ajayi was looking like a beast. He just couldn't. He was in his mind. Gase was the problem. It was all in his head. He was his own enemy. With McDaniel and Tua, Big O, we see chemistry, my G. McDaniel said that he could read Tua's body language. Like, when it come to discussing plays and the game plan, he could tell when Tua likes a play or when he don't like the play, and he draws it all up based off of that. And Coach Mike told reporters that the goal this entire season was statistical output through 5 games, and that's what the fuck he's gotten. I mean, we've set another NFL record this game for most yards through the first 5 games. With 2,568 yards. You know what I'm saying? And, Tua himself set a franchise record for passing yards through 5 games with 1,614 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, them guys are eating $5 footlongs from Subway right now. And as much as, his left arm has been on fire, he did make some throws this game. I'm not going to lie that I think he wish he could have had back. One of them was that pick 6 that could have gave the Giants momentum, but our defense, which has been criticized all season, including by me, myself, the media, a lot of the fans, they've all criticized this defense because it ain't been like what we thought we would see. Hearing all this talk about how great Vic Fangio was, but this goddamn game, they absolutely dominated. They played bully ball this game, and you take away that pick 6 and they only scored 9 points. 9 points. And we finally saw in real time what all the hype was about DC Vic Fangio's defense. We finally saw guys appearing like they was trying to answer the bell, on every single play. Guys was flying around using their head and shoulders as, assault weapons to assault citizens. Everybody had bad motives. Everybody looked like they knew what they was doing. And I was impressed with what I saw. Fangio gave us a masterclass on how to use a zone defense and how it could be effective. Y'all know me, like, I'm man coverage all day. Bump and run. That's what I want to see. I don't like all that cushion. I can't stand it. But I see how it can be effective. I mean, we still haven't gotten any pick 6s ourselves, but we have created fumbles. We have gotten sacks. And I noticed Christian Wilkins was getting in there. He had a high motor this game. He was being annoying to the Giants front. And he was consistently beating his man, getting a good first step on his man every single play is what I saw. And y'all saw that too when y'all watched this game. We already know the sealer, Zach Sealer. We seen him sealing the hole. He played big boy ball as well. We're going to talk about that on Numbers Lie, Numbers Don't. And Bradley Chubb, we gave him a hefty bag. He delivered this game, and he was all over the field as well. On offense, Achane, he went off. He took it to the house. Looked like he was jogging while everybody else was, hauling ass shit. Tyreek Hill, he got chased down this game. And I mean, they did have to take a high angle to catch him because of the speed. But Achane looked like he was jogging and was still past everybody, and he looked like he just before the game, he downloaded the Nike running app and he's on his second coaching session. Like, the first coaching session, they just had you walk and shit. The second session, like, you got to jog. That's what he was doing this game. And, the man put up sick yardage. We're going to talk about it on NLND. In this rivalry against the Giants that we've had, it's been 11 battles. The Giants, they've won 7 times to our 4. But if we keep this band together, if we keep McDaniel and Tua together, we're going to have many more wins against them. Let's break down the game. First quarter, defense on the field. The Giants started the game with some offensive weapons injured. Saquon Barkley, he was one of them. So former Dolphin and 49er running back Matt Breida started for them. You can tell this. You can tell when they started this this drive. Giants head coach Brian Daboll, he was intent on establishing a run against us. And Breida made a few runs. Daniel Jones completed a pass to move them to the 50-yard line. But on 3rd and 3, Fangio sent that exotic blitz. And you saw Andrew Van Ginkel flex the speed off the edge to get a sack. And this became a recurring theme this whole game. Andrew had the right tackle at his disposal, pretty much using and abusing him like a prostitute all game long. And this was just one example of that. That forced them to punt and gave the offense field position at around the 10-yard line. I noticed that Daboll also, when I noticed the plays, a lot of them were mostly shotgun read option plays, formations that he was using to set us up later so that they can have Daniel Jones, do that scramble that he does off to the left or the right side, usually to his right side, and when they do that, it puts your defense in a bind, because now they're in a pick your poison type situation where you got to figure out, do I stop the inside zone? Do I stop Daniel Jones? When is he going to take off and run? You don't know when. That's the problem we face with Josh Allen. And I believe, obviously with Brian Daboll previously coaching Josh, he probably had the same game plan against us. They can run the same book that Ken Dorsey run. So credit to Vic Fangio for solving that puzzle this game, because as he showed, in the first stoppage, he got remedies for that now, and hopefully we can use this game and the Jags game as references when the Bills come to the tank to face us. But back to the first quarter, Fins at the 10. We line up in an empty shotgun tight set with Devon, Achane in a wide receiver stance. But this time, instead of Tyreek Hill, Mike had Jalen Waddle motion to the running back position. Normally Hill is behind Tua in that position. And we ran a fake handoff to Jalen, with a running back reverse to Devon Achane, who takes it across to the 35-yard line of Bills territory. Then we run a shotgun play action wide receiver screen to Waddle, who gets a chunk play. Right tackle Austin Jackson did an excellent job of flashing his speed as an old lineman to make blocks on this play. He was damn near, he almost looked like he was running just as fast as Jalen on this play, and that's why I say, stay patient with your O-line. I know y'all be wanting our young O-linemen to grow up real fast as soon as they get drafted, but give these guys time. They Austin Jackson got great lateral movement, great athletic ability, and we saw that on this play. That's why Chris Greer, he's not listening to none of that. He finna keep Austin on his team. Liam Eichenberg though, he's a different story. Liam might have to go. My patience is probably out with Liam. Yes, he did play good as a backup center. We put him in because Connor Williams got to stop high snapping the ball. So that was his punishment probably. Plus, he got kicked in the nuts in that game. That was why he initially had to go out. But he had to go out, last week. And Liam played center pretty good as far as snapping the ball to Tua, right to his chest. But as far as blocking though, Liam was getting handled. I mean, he had some good blocks, but our running game suffered, and you can clearly see that because we wasn't able to use it against the Bills. If we was able to do what we doing in this game against the Bills last week, we would have beat them. And that's why it makes sense that we're ahead of the Bills because that they lost to the Jags, but the Jags played a different game plan than we did on defense. They played man coverage against the Bills. That's why they beat them. I had that on my keys. We didn't follow that. We played zone. Obviously, it sounds like Vic has learned from that, but that's why they won that game. And already we see that McDaniel has also learned from last week when the Bills deliberately tried to take Waddle out of the game, which they did limit him in the first half. He seemed like he got his first catch, in the beginning of the third quarter. But this game here, Mike deliberately got Waddle involved early and often. He got him the football. and he also made friends. Tua made friends with Cedric Wilson by getting him involved. Found him at 9 minutes and 33 seconds for a nice game. And what I like about that play was that Ced was in motion and he caught the pass in stride. What that does, guys, that plants a seed in future teams that's gonna scout us. Them wheel routes, y'all gotta worry about that. In all of this organized confusion of, these crossers and Tua turning his back and running that play action, Tua throw that wheel route. If if he see that you trying to kill, we want to do what we want to do, and if y'all try to stop it, we got answers for it. We got contingency plans to attack you, and we got to the goal line and Reek almost scored in the screen play, but got chased down. But next play, Tua rolls left and finds Waddle for a touchdown. Defense, second Giants drive. The Giants stayed with running the ball. They tried to run it up the gut, run it up the middle, but Christian Wilkins was a wall. And they did get in our territory from a slant to Darius Slayton, but they didn't score to end the first. And we ended up getting the ball to start the second quarter. First drive of the second, we moved the ball across to the 50 to their 40 from a Mostert runs and from a pass to Tyreek. And then at 13 minutes and 33 seconds, we ran off tackle Kendall Lamb with Achane, who got through the hole and almost broke left for 6, but he fumbled. And I believe that, he would have scored if it wasn't for that fumble, but the defense is back on the field at 12 minutes and 54 seconds. Defense forced a 3 and out from Wilkins, bringing that pressure and good tackling from Cater. I think he got a tackle for loss on the play. Giants punted, and that placed us inside their 5. Offense, we moved the ball to the 25-yard line, and then Achane morphed into the Falconator, turned into F2. Just like how the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, had T2, we got F2. This man runs like Marshall Faulk. He's able to just one cut and go. And from I form tight, he ran off tackle Kendall Lamb again. Kendall Lamb been blocking. And, he got a huge favor from Alec Ingold, who lined him up and had an impact block, and that helped blast Devon off to pay dirt for another touchdown to give us a 2-score lead to make it 14 to Goose Egg. Defense prevented the Giants from making it close by forcing the Giants to drive down the field methodically and stopping them at the door. The key play on this next drive from the Giants was cornerback Xavier Howard. The Giants crossed into our territory to the 25-yard line. Daniel tried to exploit a mismatch by attempting a mini bomb over X to tight end Darren Waller, but X was right there, showed elite technique, made a double deflection, like he deflected it, and as he was diving down, he deflected it again because Waller had good concentration, almost got the ball, but he prohibited that. Giants kicked the field goal to make the score 14-10. Offense with 3 minutes and 2 seconds left. The immediate response from them was a wide receiver screen to Tyreek on the right side of the field, and he cut it against the grain and gave him the wiggle and was gripping grain. Indicated, turned the jet zone, almost went the distance, but got caught. Next play was a sweep to Achane, who almost scored to the right, but it was short to the 5, and then Tua threw an interception in the end zone to Pinnock. We would have been up 21-10, but he threw that pick, and it was a pick 6 too. Jason Pinnock was trotting down the sideline to the end zone. That was the only touchdown, and it was a horrendous pass by Tua. And as bad as it may have never happened if the refs would have did their job on the previous play. It should have been 1st and goal, but I digress. It is what it is. Tyreek Hill, he experienced muscle tightness before half. He wasn't in on those plays, so the outcome probably would have been different if he was in, but that's what it was. Third quarter, you could tell Wink Martindale tried to play match zone and have different variations of zone. Normally, Wink Martindale plays man. He plays man coverage. He played it, in the game prior, And you can't play man against us because we got 24-mile-per-hour runners, 22-mile-per-hour runners on our team, you know, and it's the Grand Prix, so you can't do that. So he ended up playing different variations of zone where he played man on one side and, you know, maybe man in the backside, trying to switch it up. But we caught him in a 0-man on the play. Tua saw that there was a mismatch and threw a bomb to Hill, who threw up the deuces, just like Chris Brown said, for the touchdown. After the touchdown, he ran over to try to give his mom the football. But we had this annoying ass fan that was goaltending, had his hand up in the way, just no matter what Tyreek was like this, trying to toss it to her, he goaltending. I'm bullshit, man. I think the man probably just wasn't aware that Tyreek's mom was behind him. And y'all saw the look on her face. She was having none of it. Like she wanted to hit that man in the throat, you know, for goaltending. But anyway, back to the game. Defense, Jerome Baker did a good job of using the speed of beelining to the ball carrier, making a nice tackle. Jerome Baker played good this game. Offense on the field, 9 minutes and 15 seconds. Mostert had a lone gain that got called back because of holding by center Connor Williams. 6 minutes and 25 seconds. I took notes that Tua threw another bad pass. It was a pick trying to go to Jalen to get on this play. Looked like not only a bad pass for a pick, but miscommunication between him and Waddle. Almost like he second guessed it before he threw the ball. And I could see that he wasn't confident in the throw. Like he wanted, like just at the last second, he kind of regretted throwing it. So he didn't put a lot of velocity on it, threw it late. And it was a duck. It was a duck, you know. And I noticed that, you know, Tua gets in trouble when he has to go to his second and third reads at times. You could jump the routes and sometimes he does get in trouble. I think Mike saw that Tua, you know, could get in trouble if he keep playing like this. And I think Mike did a great job of switching up the game plan to a ground and pound attack in the third and fourth quarter. And that's what he did. You know, fourth quarter, 13 minutes and 8 seconds, Isaiah Wynn went down after an Achane sweep left. And then Achane, you know, he went down, you know, he got tackled. He was laying on the grass for a moment and limped to the sidelines. As he was jogging, you could tell that he was able to shake it off. But I think this moment right here is when he suffered that knee injury. By the way, if y'all go on TBFN Shorts, y'all will see that I dropped a video letting us know about the breaking news that Devon Achane officially has a knee injury, and they say he's going to miss multiple weeks. I think it happened on this play right here in the fourth quarter. Daniel Jones went out with a neck injury also in the fourth quarter. I said fourth down. This fourth quarter, my bad. 12 minutes and 30 seconds, Van Ginkel got a sack, and Zach Seiler also showed a good block shedding and lateral movement to get us a sack for us as well. And we were able to just run the clock down pretty much. Another good play I saw, 1 minute and 21 seconds. It was a great play by Van Ginkel to chase down Tyrod Taylor, who had to come in because of that neck injury by Daniel Jones. Van Ginkel chased him down, tackled him short of a first down on a 4th and 1, and we were able to run out the clock. This defense showed up, man. Let's peep the game time stats on numbers lie, numbers don't. Starting with Tua, you take away the 2 INTs, and Tua was pretty sharp, you know, and on point behind center, you know, for the most part. He completed 22 of 30 passes, only missed 8, 308 yards with 2 tutties and 2 interceptions. Now, I will say about the passes, though, a lot of those yards were from yards after catch. You know, it wasn't a lot of air yards, but that bomb he threw to Tyreek was right on the money, right on target, and that's what we want to see from Tua, and he delivered when it came to that and being on point this game. As far as the ground game, Achane was the dog. He played like a dog this game. Not only did he have that 76-yard tote to the crib for 6, but he also gained 151 yards in total yardage, averaged 13.7 yards a tote on 11 carries, becoming the first Dolphins player with 3 straight 100-yard rushing games since Ajayi did it in 16. The Cheetah hauled in 8 passes for 181 yards, topping 150 yards receiving. We didn't need nothing from our tight ends this game, but our wide receivers stepped up. Jalen Waddle stepped up. Cedric Wilson had a good game this game. He really, really did. And I don't know if it's because Craycraft is not in there, if it's because he's hurt, or because, you know, the game plan wasn't to go to Berrios, but I can see how Ced can be used. But still think we need to find a different type of receiver to fill out this roster room, and his name is not Cedric Wilson. I'm gonna talk about that on the video. We were exceptional on both sides of the trenches. Props to Austin Jackson. Props to Connor Williams, as y'all heard me say throughout this show. We definitely saw a difference with the rush with them in there, and I'm willing to stop bitching about Connor Williams' high snaps until it tragically hurts us. You know, then I'm gonna be back there talking about that shit. On defense, we went absolutely ham this game and played how we were supposed to. Y'all heard Vic Fangio was wearing a Dick Butkus jersey in practice to honor the legendary linebacker. Could it possibly be that he was sending a message specifically to that unit, to our linebacker unit? They rose to the challenge this game because, like I said, Baker played good. David Long Jr. played good. And before this bout, we averaged 9.7 yards per play, which is a first down per play. But our pass rusher woke up, you know, and even with the offense showing out, to me, I think the defense was the MVP of this one. And not only did we sack DJ 7 times, but we hit him 14 times, and we had 8 tackles for loss. Zach Sealer played like a boss, and I'll give him the nod for the most impactful. It was close between him and Gink, but he had 7 total tackles, 6 solo, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and 3 quarterback hits. Jerome Baker, like I said, he had himself a game. He had 8 tackles, 4 solo, a half a sack, and 2 quarterback hits. I'm thinking maybe we should blitz Baker a little bit more. I mean, I know that we like to use his sideline to sideline speed and coverage, but I think he can get to the pass expeditiously as well if we send him. Like, send him on more middle linebacker blitzes depending on who we play. Like, why didn't we send Jerome Baker on the blitz against the Bills? You know, I think Josh Allen would be the perfect crash test dummy for that. Here's my final thoughts on the game. We're 2-1. We're 2-0 versus the NFC. We got upcoming games versus the Panthers, which could be a trap game. You know, I expect us to dominate the Panthers. I think we could score 90 against the Panthers without punting once. But, you know, and that's on paper, and that's from what we've seen so far. But this is the NFL. That's why they play the games. Paper don't mean shit. You still got to go out there and do it. And Bryce Young is starting to get, you know, adjusted to the speed of the game. They got Terrence Marshall over there at wide receiver. They got some players. You know, they got Chuba Hubbard, you know, who I scouted as a potential player that we could have drafted. They also got Tommy Tremble at tight end, who I would love for Chris Greer to talk to, whisper in his ear, and maybe try to get Tommy Tremble on this team. He'd be a great blocker. I know we getting Chase Claypool, and I know on the poll, on the fish poll that y'all can see on the community tab, y'all make sure and vote, please. I definitely want to see the numbers increase. I put on there one of the questions, what do you want to see Chase Claypool as? You know, a vertical tight end in the Kyle Pitts type of mode, or as a T.O. clone and as a big West Coast wide receiver? Most of y'all chose using him as a tight end, and we saw reports that McDaniel was going to explore that option. But you know, I think that you know, Tommy Tremble would be a good tight end if we could talk to him, and maybe maybe I would give a 4th round pick for Tommy Tremble for sure. With the Bills' loss to the Jags, we've regained first place in the division. And what do we learn from the Jags? Play man coverage against the Bills. It works like a charm. I said that on the keys. We didn't do it. We saw in this game here, Vic Fangio sometimes having his guys in zone, but maybe having one of them go up and play man and keeping the other in zone, you know, maybe he's just trying to switch it up. Here's my week 5 big fish ballers of this game. Tua Tagovailoa's on that list. Achane, Raheem Mostert, Alec Ingold, Austin Jackson. Really, the whole O-line can be on this list. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, David Long, Jerome Baker, Zach Sealer, Kader Kohou, Bradley Chubb, Emmanuel Ogbah also delivered pressure this game. Raekwon Davis, put him on this list. Eli Apple's been balling for us. I put that in my Facebook timeline. He's been balling. You know what I'm saying? I thought we all thought he was gonna be an average player when he got here. We were like, he's been steady. Like, we haven't had no big plays on Eli, really. Even the plays that were made on him, he was right there. Xavier Howard's on this list, Jason Sanders on this list, and that's it. Next week, we got the Panthers that's going to be flying to the tank, or they may be driving because, you know, Carolina really ain't that far, so they could drive. But we can't sleep on them, like I said. We got to be on our P's and Q's. Let's keep building on the running game because we got November and December games coming up. It's going to be cold. We got to get that shit revved up. We could really pound it against the Panthers. Try to destroy their linebackers if we can. And they say Jeff Wilson is going to be practicing, so he may be playing in this game against the Panthers. If he can get back to form, we're going to the Super Bowl. I don't give a damn who don't believe it. I don't care what Big O believes. I don't care what nobody says. If Jeff Wilson can get back to form, or if we can get Chris Brooks in there and he can power it up and do what he does, and he can be the X factor for us, we're going to the ship. We're going to the ship. We are going to the ship. Bitch, we got Tua, we got Waddle, and now we got Tyreek Hill. We're going to the ship. But that's all I got. Y'all leave a comment. Till next time, signing off.